Yes, so since the morning you had the opportunity to listen to some very informative and interesting presentations done by, especially by engineers and architects. But I'm coming from a totally different background. My background is forestry and environmental management. So in this next 20 minutes or so, I'll be talking about present trends and future opportunities exist in greening the Sri Lanka's tourism sector. Here I will be especially emphasizing the green accommodation because here we are talking about building green and living green. Right, so why tourism sector? Well, if you look at the global figures, tourism sector is one of the biggest industries, and in fact it's considered as the largest service sector industry in the world. And its contribution to the global GDP is 9%, and it also creates millions of job opportunities. According to the World Travel and Tourism Council, they predict the tourism industry to grow by 4.4% each year. So the tourism industry it's actually a growing industry. People will travel, they always have, and they always will travel. But what will determine the future of this industry is how, especially with increasing environmental concerns, how consumers will going to make their decisions and their changing perceptions. Right, so meanwhile, Asia has become one of the fastest growing tourism markets. So as a result, as a country, we are also benefiting from that. However, despite all these positives of mass tourism, what we call mass tourism, tourism has its own negative impacts as well. Especially, a key trend in mass tourism is a lot of people visiting few popular destinations, and this has created numerous environmental as well as socio-cultural problems. Now, talking about pressure, take a look at this one, for example. This is a world-famous beach in Brazil. Now, you might wonder why people want to go and spend their vacation in a crowded place like this, but that's the way it is. Now, if you look at our own example, Hikkaduwa Beach, it's also considered as one of the Asia's best. And despite its contribution to the local economy, we all know what sort of environmental as well as socio-cultural degradation has taken place in these areas. So coming back to the tourism sector in Sri Lanka, very quickly, especially with the conclusion of the war, our tourism sector is expanding rapidly. For instance, in 2012, the tourism sector direct and indirect contribution to the GDP was 9.1%. And yes, so again, despite these, all these economic benefits, tourism industry in general remains as one of the largest consumers of natural resources. Especially if you look at some of the specialty items used in tourism, like glass covers, toiletries, toilet seat traps even, and souvenirs, etc. Although they seem small, if you look at the carbon footprint and water footprint that goes into these tiny products, you will realize how much resources this particular industry is consuming. Now, if you look at the energy and water consumption, it is generally estimated that tourists use about 5 times as much water and energy per day when compared to local residents in the same area. So, in our quest to achieve development goals, the government of Sri Lanka has identified tourism as a key sector to focus. And these days we are all talking about moving towards green economy. So in this background, the question remains, how are we going to change this profitable industry to respect the boundaries of environment. So a possible solution is going green, that is green tourism. So what is basically green tourism? In simplest terms, it is the tourism that doesn't cost the environment. And sometimes green tourism and sustainable tourism, these words are used interchangeably. However, whatever you want to call it, this is based on the three pillars of sustainability: economic sustainability, environmental sustainability, and socio-cultural sustainability. Well, tourism is a business, so at the end of the day, everything comes down to money. So remaining viable as a business is important. At the same time, you have to respect the environment as well as the socio-cultural components. And in the context of tourism, visit experience is also important because that's how you're going to ensure that people will revisit the destination and recommend the destination. So in that way, we'll ensure the sustainability. Right. So when we talk about the challenges in changing the tourism industry to a greener one, any strategy that focuses on transforming this industry to a greener one needs to focus on several aspects. As you can see, tourism itself is not just it's actually a multidisciplinary thing. So you have to, there are several components: green accommodation, transport, food and entertainment, then tourism products or destinations. Then from the supply side, the demand side, we have the tourists themselves. So any strategy should equally treat all these components in order to be effective. So in this presentation, since we have limited time, I'll be focusing only on the green accommodation sector because I think that's what is most relevant to this particular audience. Right. So why it is important to introduce green measures to hotels and accommodation sector? Now, when we talk about green accommodation, we are basically talking about implementing green measures in hotels and other accommodation sector. If you look at some statistics, according to the World Tourism Organization, hotel or accommodation sector accounted for 275 metric tons of carbon dioxide. So this is actually 2007 statistics, so the condition must have worsened, most probably, right? Then if we come back to our own tourism sector, again, hotel sector accounts for about 4 to 5% of the national electricity demand. So it is one of the major consumers of electricity. Then if we look at the average operation cost of a typical hotel, energy bill accounts for 18% of it. Then as we all know that most of the energy is consumed by, for air conditioning, followed by various other applications. According to a preliminary study done by the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce, they found that the hotel sector has a saving potential of 20% in energy as well as in water consumption, and to reduce waste generation by 20%. So if we turn these figures into monetary value, we are talking about huge savings. So that's why introducing green measures to hotel and accommodation sector is of key importance. Right, so as a customer or tourist, how do we know whether a place that we are going to stay is environmentally friendly? For that, eco-labels is one thing we can look for, right? Especially when we talk about the tourism sector, There are these certification programs like Green Globe and Earth Check, which are the most popular ones. In Sri Lanka, even in Sri Lanka, we have several 5-star hotels having this Green Globe certification. Apart from these industry-specific certification systems, we do have these green building standards, LEED certification, and ISO 14001, which is also widely adopted by the tourism industry. And those two are actually not industry-specific, and they have a wider scope. Yes, so talking about the global trends in green buildings or building green hotels. Well, the trend is actually kind of positive. Now, these are some of the examples. The Palazzo Hotel in Las Vegas, they claim themselves as the largest LEED Silver certified hotel in the world. And more recently opened Grand Chola Hotel in Chennai, India. They claim themselves as the largest LEED Platinum rated green hotel. So for some reason, these green hotels seems to get bigger and bigger. For example, the Grand Chola has, I think, a room capacity of 600 or more, and I don't have any explanation for that one. Maybe people in the audience might have a better idea. Right, so if we come back to a local example, Heritage Kandalama, I think several speakers brought up this example in their presentations as well. So this is being regarded as one of the best models of eco-friendly hotels. They do have all these food safety management systems, energy management, environmental management systems in place, as well as Green Globe certification and LEED certification. Of course, there are some criticisms as well, but we can say they are doing a fair effort towards transforming their hotel or operations into greener one. Right, another example, Singharaja Rainforest Lodge. Now this is a unique type of construction or property. Again, it's LEED Platinum rated for sustainable tourism. The major difference from the previous one is, this one is built to cater relatively small crowds. This is also referred to as eco-lodge. The term eco-lodge is actually goes hand in hand with the concept of ecotourism. Ecotourism is something that, again, founded on the principles of sustainability, but essentially nature-based. And again, in ecotourism, we are talking about the importance of sustainability, education, as well as another key feature is ecotourism is designed to cater small groups. Now, if I talk a little bit more about ecotourism. Now, when you analyze the ecotourism market in the globe, we can identify two broad subsegments of the market, what we call hardcore ecotourists and softcore ecotourists. Softcore ecotourists are those, go out there to appreciate the nature, but they are also concerned about the comfort amenities or the place where they stay. They expect facilities. So these type of constructions have been set up to cater those softcore ecotourist market segment. On the other hand, we have these basic structures, again called eco-lodges. Now, in these structures, you have basic facilities. In most cases, they rely on natural ventilation, natural lighting, and the emphasis is on local architectural designs as well as using local materials. So this is actually a sector that is widely spreading, because in Sri Lanka, the ecotourism market is expanding rapidly. So as a result, more and more people are, getting into this ecology industry. When we talk more about these ecologists, there are some general guidelines have been established by the world, the International Ecotourism Society, as well as other leading environmental NGOs. There are like 15 guidelines, but I have pointed out some important ones here. First one, maintaining, restore, and enhance the natural ecosystem. And from design perspective, it is more important than achieving impressive architectural expressions. Then define the easiest, fastest, and most economical and least destructive way to build. Then incorporate ease of maintenance to the design. The design should be in harmony with the environment. Now the two examples I showed you, Kandalama and Sinharaj Ecology, most experts say the design, their design is designed to blend perfectly with the environment. But I don't know what's your opinion on that. Then economical use of space. Then most importantly, the architectural design should concentrate on context and aesthetics, energy use and conservation, water conservation, management, waste management, building technology, materials, and the construction. So within this framework, variety of building types are possible, or they qualify as ecologies. And they can be broadly categorized into these four vernacular building types. These are some examples include grass huts, mud structures, caves, tree huts. I have already showed you some of the examples. Then historical building types such as colonial architecture, residentially derived styles, military architecture, etc. Then contemporary structures. Some examples are inns, cottages, homes, guest houses, etc. Then you have those low-impact portable structures. Here we are basically talking about collapsible tents. And this particular industry is quite profitable. It's taking place in Sri Lanka. And here we are basically talking about real value addition. They usually charge more than $1,000 for a couple of nights. What they do is basically go to a nature-based attraction, set up the tent, and then give the tourist the nature experience. And that's been used as this business model is used as a real means of value addition. Right. So talking a little bit more about the ecology sector in Sri Lanka, because I believe this is a sector that could be promoted, because now the government has set its goals to attract more than, I think, 2 million tourists by the end of 2016. But unfortunately, we have only 16,000 rooms available in the country. So the ecology sector could be promoted as one of the, as an alternative to these standard accommodation facilities. Yes, so these are some of the findings from a recent pilot study conducted by one of my students and myself. It's on the it's on the ecologists owners, right? So according to the information we found, there's a good demand, and typically it's those ecologists being rented at from $60 to $300. So it is a really good economic opportunity. Then major focus is on appearance. That means most of the ecology owners are are worried about constructing something, that is in line with indigenous architecture or structures. So in most cases, they tend to go for huts, mud huts and tree platforms and things like that. But what is most importantly, what they are neglecting is the need to manage the energy, water, and waste generation, etc. Then in sustainable tourism, we also talk about the importance of community involvement, but unfortunately in this informal ecology sector, most of the ecologists are owned by people in Colombo, and they have invested their money in these type of properties in rural places. Then they have put less emphasis on the educational element. Even in a previous presentation, we listened to the importance of education in the concept of sustainability. So when it comes to tourism, it is the same. Then, all in all, when we analyze the ecology sector, whether our ecology sector is compatible with the philosophy of and principles of ecotourism is actually questionable, because they tend to respect only few required components of ecotourism. Yes, so with that, some concluding remarks. With tourists in key resource markets increasingly demanding green destinations, becoming environmentally sustainable has been recognized by many countries as the way to go forward. Even in the context of Sri Lankan ecotourism sector, this thing applies. In most cases, going green means saving money. Even though you have to invest some money upfront, you can easily recover the costs within a short space of time. Then, when we look at our tourism sector, especially with large-scale operators, there's an increasing trend in going towards sustainable tourism certification standards. And the main reason for that is basically to improve the image of the business. Yes, as I mentioned, tourism based on natural attractions is a promising means of advancing social, economic, and environmental objectives. So in this context, the informal ecology sector, as I mentioned, can perform a vital role, especially in meeting future tourism demands in Sri Lanka. So with that, I will wind up. I think I have finished on time. So if you have any other questions, I'll be happy to answer them during the Q&A session. Thank you.